Hello, everyone. This is Aaron Yeagle of the book marketing team, and I have a special interviewee today, Wanda Roberts, an author of children's books, works in the medical industry, and works to support other authors. So let's talk to you, Wanda. How are you doing?
Doing wonderful. And yourself, Aaron?
We're doing fine over here in Tucson, where it's warm. Everybody
Well,
else in
it's
the
warm.
country is freezing.
It's warm here today, but I hear the other parts of the country are really getting slammed with a lot of snow.
Yeah. So, you work a full-time job in the medical industry. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes. I just went and went. I think it was at the end of January. I made my 20 years. And so I am trying to wind down into a little lesser of a stressful atmosphere, shall I say?
Yeah.
Because with COVID around and about, and I hope I can say that word because sometimes you can't say that word
Hmm.
very,
Say it
very
live,
much.
great. So 20
So,
years. So 20 years in the medical industry. And when did you get inspired to start writing?
oh, well, that is an easy one. Um, Actually, when the pandemic happened, and everybody had their children at home, they couldn't go to school and whatnot. In the Writers Rock group, I ran a special for 2 weeks where every day the children's book authors and the young adults could read their books out loud to the children. And that gave the opportunity for the parents to actually have their kids read to, and on the same token, get the authors' books out there to the public. And I shared it in all of my social media pages, and I watched every one of them myself. And that was enough of a push to push me out there, to get out there and be one of those. And trust me, Aaron, it's not something that was planned. And I say that perhaps maybe that's my purpose, because before I didn't know what it was going to be like to be a children's book author. I didn't know what it was like to be an author, but I sure had a lot of motivation to get out there. And so, with moderating being the administrator of the Writers Rock groups for over a year and having to know the lingo and to learn the career and, perfect the skill, that it was fairly easy for me. And I had 20 stories. When I sat down and put the pen down on the paper, I didn't stop until I had 20 stories written.
Wow.
So, they're still written. So right now that's the series. The series is 20 books. But I stopped in the middle of the series now to do marketing. Then I'm gonna say I have 4 standalones that I'm actually going to place with either Ingram Sparks or Barnes and Noble, just to help me get into these stores.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if it's right or wrong, but I know that it's something that I want to do.
Yeah. Well, it's very inspiring, as an author, to be able to influence people, and for you, I would assume being able to inspire children to read and enjoy your stories really helps with the enthusiasm of the writing process for you.
Exactly. And my books are a little bit different than most children's books, Aaron, because when I was growing up, I distinctly remember my mom reading books, and in the books there were activities. And that's the only way for me to write a book, is my understanding, what I know. And so what I did was, in the back of my book, I have word searches. I have fill in the blanks. I have identify your colors. I have all those activities for the children to get engaged in the stories.
Oh, nice, nice. And you have a series, The Adventures of Tara and Pep Pep.
Correct.
And right now there's 3 of them
Well, no,
on Amazon.
5 of them.
There's 5 of them?
Yes.
Oh, Amazon doesn't sort them all in order. Okay, sorry. Will there be more? Oh, did I lose you?
Introducing the second rescue dog. And then book 3 is the one I'm out of. This is book 4, which is Emergency 911 Rescue. This is the one that's actually in the book cover contest, which I'm currently battling for number 5. And then we have them having a birthday. No, this is number 5. This is the one.
Wanda.
Yes.
You're locked up. You lost a bunch of bandwidth.
Oh dear. Where did I stop?
So it stopped for me right after I talked about the having five books in your Tara and Pep Pep series, and that's when I think when you brought in the books.
That's correct.
Yeah. So let's go back to that point so I can edit out the little glitch, and you can show your books again from the beginning.
Okay, so this is book 1. Are you able to see it?
Yeah.
This is book 1, actually introduces the first rescue dog, which is Tara, which is kind of funny because they are I call them my grand dogs, and they actually are color coordinated. So my son has Tara in green and Pep Pep is in purple. So everything they own is color coordinated.
Oh.
Right and down to their being black and having glow chains at night. They're those colors, so he can tell which dog is which dog.
Oh, wow.
And when I sign the books, I sign their paws in those colors. So this is book 1, okay? And this is book 2, which introduces the second rescue dog. And that's called A New Edition. Book 3, I'm currently out of. I'm waiting for that shipment to come in from Amazon. Book 4 is the actual book that talks about 911 and emergency, and it's actually right now my favorite book. I don't know if it's my favorite book is because I introduced a new character in this book called Miss Molly Mobile. And Miss Molly Mobile will come out now as safety, teaching children safety.
Nice.
So and as I was saying about the back of the books, this is the sort of activities that we have in the back of the book to have the children get engaged in the stories. And so this one is actually teaching them, if they had an emergency, how would they handle it? What would they do? So that's what this book is for. This book teaches them. All my books teach them something. Okay?
I like that.
And then we have Tara has a birthday party, and while they were at the dog park, which is book 3. They meet a lot of friends at the dog park, of course. And so we incorporated them friends that they've been meeting, and Tara and Pep Pep reside in Chicago, Illinois. Migrant with my son, and right now grandmas and toys. And they have their own Instagram page also.
Oh wow.
So here they are.
Aww.
Their birthday party. And in the back of the book, in the back of the book, we are letting the children color. We're doing word searches. Do a lot of fun little things. We are filling in the blanks. And we are doing some more coloring, but we're doing a color identification where they have to actually color whatever number that is in that cake.
Oh, wow.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that and the other two stands that I have two standalones. One is Miss Quackers and her three ducklings. And the other one is about a one-eyed rooster, which I did for a childhood friend of mine whose sister had congenital heart disease, and she just loves roosters and whatnot. And Rusty is her rooster, and Rusty got one-eyed because he was protecting all the hens in the hen house. But that story is actually also catered toward disabled children, because Rusty has a friend named Rocky in the barnyard with him, but Rocky was born without being able to crow.
Oh.
But he jumps up on the fence like he doesn't have any disability. He can crow because Rusty helps him crow. So basically it teaches them that no matter what a child has a disability, you don't even make it noticeable. You just help them.
Exactly. I mean, I really like the fact that, well, for one, the size of your books is more like coloring book size than a lot of children's books.
Exactly.
You know, and so you can have a larger font, so it's easier to read. You have all those places for people to do exercises and activities that help reinforce the learning of the story. I mean, I think that serves a really good social purpose. It's not just, you know, see Dick and Jane run. You know, it
Exactly.
really...
And I wanted them to be able to, there's so many, you know, kids really love animals, and especially dogs and cats. And actually, Tara and Pep have a cat in the house too. And the cat really teases those two dogs. The cat's name is Shadow, but really Shadow doesn't come in until later on in the series, and then it creates chaos.
Yeah.
Because Shadow teases Pep all the time.
Yeah. I have a dog and two cats, and it's the dog that's the incitement to riot. You have a book that you currently have in a contest, a cover contest. Which one is that?
Yes, that's this one right here. The 911 emergency is actually in an all authors book cover contest for February. I was inspired by that because my illustrator, which is Myra Retzma, and she's out of British Columbia, Canada. And she does all my illustrations, just to give you an idea. She wants me to put them all in the book cover contest. But this is because this is my favorite one, because it's so colorful. And it's kind of down my and which I thought was reading, because I was the eye doctor since the last time I seen him from COVID, and he said, "Well, Miss Wanda, what about a story about the dogs going to the eye doctor?" I said, "Perfect. I'll just add it to my series." So, and then there's a lot of things you can do, you know, to help kids deal with different things, like to the dentist, and, you know, things that kids are scared of. You know, you want to ease their mind when they go and do those things. And if a book can help them ease their mind, I'm all for it.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, a lot of people have the same problem with dentists, you know, or just general doctoring. Oh my God, what's he going to do to me? So you do have a lot going on.
They don't know
Yeah, well, I mean that's to get a little philosophical, fear is one of the driving forces of human beings, and when you can look to conquer the fears, then you know it really helps your life.
Yeah, I am. I wish I had had more children in life, but I had that one son, just because I love children. I just absolutely love children, and I love to make children happy. And it just warms my heart every time I see one of my books in the hands of a child, and they will not let go of it. Um, just one specific, we have an author in the group, and she adopted 9 foster children from one family.
Wow.
And the 4, I think 3 or 4 of them that are under the age of 6. And so I had some extra books. So I gifted the children the first book. And when the first book arrived, the one little boy who was probably about 3, he wasn't about to give up either one of those copies to his sister. And I just got so tickled when the picture that I got, he had both books in his hands and every which way trying to see the cover of the book and everything, but he wasn't parting with it. So those are the kind of things that I love. I love to see that. I love to see them loving the books and enjoying the activities in the back.
Nice, nice. And you have a fan in the UK, Professor Obi?
Yeah, I have a couple fans in the UK. Recently, DB Bray has got a lot of fans in Australia and Holland and whatnot, and he's really been pushing my books over there. And so I don't mind helping him out when it's time to help him out on my end, because he's more of the Instagram kind of person. He does author interviews on Instagram, but he's not too Facebook savvy. So we're having to teach him how to be Facebook savvy. We're having to teach him how to post in the groups. We're just teaching him. We're just teaching him, but he's just not patient with it.
Well,
So whatever he says, there it goes. Because, I just simply don't have time to look up all the hashtags and find his blurb and all that. I mean, I got a lot on my plate right now.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, it's nice to see authors helping authors, and that's the way it should be. There's enough readers in the world. So, so you've mentioned Writer's Rock, and that's kind of a little giving back when we're talking about in talking about authors helping authors. Writer's Rock is a really good Facebook group for doing just that, for authors to help authors in marketing and writing. So, and did you start that group, or did you just join it?
Nope, I started that group, but it came to me one morning after working a nice long shift, and I had been thinking about it in between running from room to room with these COVID patients, and I said, I've got to help these authors a little bit more. I've got to step up my game. And needless to say, but I had a distinctive. No, I think that was before COVID, because that came into play when after COVID that I became the author and had the inspiration to become an author. But I wanted to give back to the authors, and I know as a new writer myself, it's very difficult for them to get the information to them to learn it, because there's such a learning curve there for everybody. So I figured that if I got seasoned authors and they were sharing information, because everybody has a different level of education when it comes to their skill. And so therefore I had many seasoned authors that I had already been in contact with from locally, because locally I would do uh, and I would in the book signing events I would put motivational speakers in there as well.
Oh,
That were authors that had the upper end of being an author, because the upper end of being author is to have a desire to become a motivational speaker. And so there were several of them that I had already had connections with and had been friends with. So I incorporated them into that event. And so it was a magnificent event that I had.
nice, nice.
And we did drawings, we did giveaways. We actually had my professional photographer that does all of my promotional stuff. I had him come, and I've got some magnificent pictures from that event. And when COVID leaves, I would like to be able to continue on with that. But that's why I'm thinking now that maybe the reason why this is happening right now is because it's allowing me to grow, know what it's like to be author, know what an author needs, so that when I do put the next book signing off, because it won't just be for me, it'll be for everybody. It'll be for the Writers Rock brand. And I want to be able to travel with it. I want to be able to keep helping authors in every state, globally, Hawaii, wherever there needs to be a book author event,
Yeah.
I want to be able to help them, because I actually am a certified event planner.
Oh, wow.
Before COVID, I actually became a certified wedding specialist. And so I was doing weddings, and I have done a lot in my life. And now that I've gained that experience, I want to be able to utilize that for the authors. So whenever that time comes again. So I think that is the best way for the authors to get their books out, because that's how I have gotten so many books out myself.
Yeah.
I was fortunate enough last summer. I was in every event that I could possibly get myself in, outdoor events, whether they be flea markets, whether they be, there were flea markets, there were some small craft fairs in town. But I did a book signing at a local hardware store, and she allowed me to put a display up for the winter. I did well with that.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And right now I'm actually at one of the county's libraries, where they have extended me, because they have my books. They have extended the opportunity for me to rent this room whenever I need it. Because they can't rent it out to the general public, but they can rent it out for the individuals.
Oh, nice.
Especially the authors.
Yeah. Well, that's a good thing that they're doing, to help people. And, it sounds to me like that's part of your human spirit is helping people. Medical community, the wedding planner, now a book author, and then, creating a processes to help other authors. And I think it's admirable. And not only that, it's fun to be able to work with other people in the same area.
Yes. I think that's the only way that I've been able to keep my sanity, just simply because it's really sad when you have the other end of you is into the sad part of what's going on in that suitcase at that door, and walk out and become a children's book author and help other authors. And that's my life. Really, that's my life right now. And if I didn't have that escape, Aaron, I don't know what it would be like, really, to be honest with you. It just brings me joy to help people.
Well, that's good. And for all the viewers watching, at the end of this video, I will have the URLs so that you can go find Writers Rock. You can find Wanda's website, and communicate with her and get involved as an author or maybe even a publisher or marketing person to help her grow as an author. She would more than likely like to sell 10,000 copies of each book.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
I'll
Not
also
all by myself.
yeah, and I'll also put a link. When does the book cover contest end?
It's actually going to end the last day of the month. The funniest thing happened though, Aaron, this weekend. You know, I have literally been one-on-one with every author, every reader, everywhere to get to be number 5 out of 120 book covers. And I had to work the weekend, and so that my concentration was on my patients. And Monday morning, I looked at the book cover contest, and daggone it, if I wasn't number 6. I said, look, you let this happen. I gotta look, I'm competitive when it comes to these book covers. I said, nope, I gotta do some messaging. I gotta do some messaging, because they are allowed to vote one time a week, not just one time.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Week. Yes, one time a week. And I got some pretty stiff competition, but I can tell you, I think I'm about the one and only children's book author up there in the top 10.
Wow.
So I'm okay with finishing number 5, because I don't know if you know, but allauthor.com is a global
right
author site. And so to be number 5, and if I would be completely happy if I could just finish number 5, but I counted them this morning. I have 12 more days. So, you know, I don't know how many more messaging I can do in 12 days, because my focus has to be balanced. It can't just be on messaging people about my book cover. So if y'all could help, that would be simply marvelous.
Yeah,
all I need is a click and a vote.
That's right. Well, I'll put the link in this video, and as well as in the description on YouTube and Facebook, so that maybe we can get you to number 1. So call to action, people.
Them are some tough those.
Buy Wanda's books. Vote for her cover. And
them two are not, those 2 covers. I got to say, those 2 covers. The first 2 covers are some mean covers. So they're going to be hard. And one of them is one of our authors in the group. So we did kind of vote for each other's. So, you know.
All right.
But I mean, if she got it, it wouldn't bother me. But at least if I get in the, you know, if I get in the top 10, I'll be honored. Really, I will be.
Yeah. Cool. Well, thank you so much for your time, Wanda. Again, everyone, all the links will be here to find Wanda and contact her and join the fray. So I'll see you later, Wanda. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity, Aaron. I really, really appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. I love doing this. All right. Have a good day.
Have a good day.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.